Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another theme park obsession video. My name is Dylan and thank you so much for tuning back into the channel. As you can see, I am back in the office again because I want to keep the tradition going here on the channel where we talk about Destination D23 or D23, give my opinions and my reactions to some of the announcements, and yeah, just have some fun doing a little walk and talk. So how about you and I dive right in. Now, before we get started, remember, this is all just my opinion. I'm just reacting to the news, and I'm a huge fan of Disney. A lot of people still get things twisted. If I hated Disney, I wouldn't go. I just wouldn't go. If I don't like something, I'm just not gonna go. But I'm not afraid to give the company constructive criticism, just like all the other theme parks. I do the same thing to all the other parks. It's just lately, it seems like Disney is the loudest when it comes to this kind of stuff. So that's why I talk about Disney a lot when it comes to opinion-based videos. Now, Destination D23 kicked off at Walt Disney World, where it is usually held. Destination D23 is the every other year event. So they'll do like the D23 event, the big giant expo in Anaheim, and then the year after that, they'll do like a smaller event, which is usually held at the Contemporary Resort at Walt Disney World. It's pretty much a smaller scale of what we see in Anaheim. But what's cool for us theme park nerds is at this event, they also have a Parks and Resorts panel where Josh D'Amaro, who is the head of Parks and Resorts, talks about a bunch of things coming down the pipeline, which is very exciting for us nerds because yeah, we always want to know, well, what's the next big thing? Now, let me start off with the smaller stuff. They announced some Disney Cruise Line goodies, which I've never done a Disney Cruise Line. Go ahead and comment down below if you have. I've kind of wanted to do one. I've heard really good things about the Disney Cruise Line, and it's been on my list of things to do because I'd love to experience it. I've never been on a huge cruise like that, so teaming it up with Disney would be kind of nice, and it would be something fun to film here on the channel because I think it's more, it'd be more related to theme parks just because it has that Disney name to it. So I would like to do that in the future, and they did talk about 2 of their newest ships. They also talked about the destinations that they're going to go to. I know the latest ship, Disney Treasure, that will be online late next year in December of 2024. So that'll be very exciting for those that are looking at itineraries for cruises, and I think a lot of people are going to book that new Disney Treasure. And then they also talked about some of the projects that they're finishing up around the world. So at Shanghai Disneyland, they're finishing up the Zootopia themed land, which looks really good. I can't wait to hopefully experience that one day. It opens up later on this year, and it looks just like the movie. And the ride is a trackless ride. It's very similar to like Rise of the Resistance or Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Same kind of system there, but obviously different theme. It's like a police chase through the town. So that'll be interesting once we finally start seeing ride-throughs. They also showed off the Frozen Land at Hong Kong Disneyland, which looks very wonderful. It's really spectacular at night too. They showed off a lot of night imagery, and yeah, I mean, they did a fantastic job on it. So really looking forward to that as well. Hopefully down the line we'll be able to visit Hong Kong Disneyland for the first time to check that out. And then at Tokyo Disneyland, they showed off the all-new Fantasy Springs edition to Tokyo Disney Sea, which looks spectacular, especially that hotel that's going to be connected to all of it. Yeah, it looks great, and I can't wait to experience all of that. There's a few new rides going into that spot. There's also some new quick service locations, so it's an overall package. It looks wonderful. And then moving stateside, they announced the grand opening date of Journey of Water, the Moana attraction at Epcot, that will be opening up October 16th. And it looks like, a fun little addition. It's obviously not some big e-ticket attraction. We all knew this was not going to be an e-ticket ride. This is a trail. This is like something you'd see at Animal Kingdom, or it's like one of those walking trails, and you can get wet in it. So it's going to be nice to finally have something where you can get soaking wet at Epcot, because Epcot does get really hot. And this will be a nice place to cool off. And by the looks of it, it looks gorgeous. I mean, they did a really good job. My biggest thing with Journey of Water is the build time. It took way too long to build that attraction. It's a walkthrough experience. It shouldn't have taken 3+ years to build. But with that aside, like, finally we have a place to cool off. It is nice to have a space that looks pretty, that has plenty of shade, where you can get wet. If you don't want to get wet though, they do have a dry trail in that experience, which is pretty cool. And then also they talked about the World Celebration area of the hub of that park. That will be opening up later on this year. Finally, I mean, again, another thing that has been taking way too long, and that's because plans change way too much at Imagineering lately, and that's why things are just taking too long, and that probably is a contractor issue in there as well. There's no other excuse. I mean, we see other theme parks around the world building things very quickly. Disney doesn't have an excuse. as to why that was taking so long. So thankfully, finally, those construction fences at Epcot will be gone. Now, since we're on the subject of Epcot, they talked about a new renovation, and that is not Spaceship Earth, not Journey into Imagination, not any of the other attractions that need updating. It's the attraction that they've already renovated, and that's Test Track. Big question mark there. Exciting. I'm glad they're taking Test Track back to more of its roots and its origin. They're working with Chevrolet on the project, just like the previous project. But do we really need this? Do we really need a Test Track renovation? Test Track is great. When they renovated it the first time, getting it away from like the crash test kind of idea, they still have little bits and pieces of that in the attraction now, but it looks more like Tron right now. I don't think we need a renovation of Test Track. I don't think that was like the top of the priority list at Epcot when it comes to renovating attractions. It's gonna be cool. Like, I'm glad they're going back to the roots, like I said, but what about Journey into Imagination? As much as I love Figment and I enjoy going on the ride from time to time, the ride is not the greatest. It really isn't. It needs help. And Journey into Imagination would have been a way better announcement as far as like, hey, we're gonna renovate this attraction at Epcot and it's gonna be Journey into Imagination. We're bringing back Dreamfinder and it's gonna be this amazing thing. No, they didn't want to talk about that. And they also didn't want to talk about Spaceship Earth. Spaceship Earth needs some help as well. And they originally had plans for Spaceship Earth. I believe in 2017, they teased like, oh, hey, we're going to do this renovation to Spaceship Earth. We're going to bring in some new technology. We're going to bring in some new scenes and all that fun stuff. Well, whatever happened to that idea? And this is just the start of like sitting there wondering, is Imagineering just lost? Like, do they know what they're doing? Like, what's going on? Because it is pretty odd. And then they also briefly talked about the new Nighttime Spectacular at Epcot, which is replacing Harmonious. And that new show is called Luminous. And I'm actually really excited for this nighttime show. I am a huge fan of nighttime spectaculars. I think Disney does amazing nighttime spectaculars. I feel like Harmonious missed a couple little things here and there. Harmonious was not a bad show, but it wasn't a great show. It was definitely in the middle ground for me. And I think that was the same kind of note for everyone in the community. I think it's one of the reasons why they got rid of Harmonious. In the addition of it being a very expensive show, that show was, the budget on that one to build that show was enormous. So yeah, that was definitely a write-off when they got rid of that. But Luminous, though, yeah, it seems promising. They didn't really talk about it too much. It's still a big mystery. But I am looking forward to its premiere. Today, they also talked about Animal Kingdom. And now Animal Kingdom, I had some choice words about the previous plan for Animal Kingdom because they talked about Zootopia and Moana. Now, Moana was okay. Like, I can kind of see where they were going with Moana and the original plan. But Zootopia, I was like, no. Zootopia has nothing to do with animals. It's a movie about people problems, and they use the animals as proxies to convey that story. So it does not fit Animal Kingdom's core and theme. Animal Kingdom's about nature, about animals, has nothing to do with humans. It's not about human problems. It's about animal problems and animals living in the natural world, the intrinsic value of nature. That's what Animal Kingdom is about. So that first plan was a little, I was like, okay, whatever, at this point, I'm just accepting that they're going to put IP, they're going to put more IP in Animal Kingdom and all their parks. That's just because Disney just wants to, they are never going to do anything original on a grand scale ever again in the United States. Like, I've accepted that. Like, that is a fact. I hope I'm wrong. But as of right now, I'm stating that as a fact that we'll never see an original concept on the scale of like Expedition Everest or something like Big Thunder Mountain or anything like that, Haunted Mansion, Pirates of the Caribbean, in the United States ever again. And last year, they really didn't say much about the Zootopia and Moana themed land at Animal Kingdom. They just said that they were looking at ideas in the Dino Land space. Well, a year later, and they have another idea for this space that's not really for sure. It was another one of those like, maybe the possibilities, oh man, we could work with all this space, but we don't know. It was pretty much that. And the new concept is Indiana Jones and Encanto. Again, more people. Why do they not understand Animal Kingdom? Like, is that because like with Avatar, you were pushing it. Like, Avatar has some people in it. but I will give them the pass because you're talking about the Na'vi and you're talking about conservation of the banshees and all that kind of stuff. So I can give them the pass. But in Kanto, I don't. And Indiana Jones, I don't know. I feel like at this point, I'm just gonna accept it. Whatever. The idea of Animal Kingdom as we knew it before, the original concept, is long gone. Now, with that said, let me talk about some positives here. I do like the concept of Central and South America being at the core, the foundation of this new land. Because I've said that in the past before, where I think Central and South America is a really good area to explore. I mean, there's a very lush landscape there, and there's plenty of exotic animals and things you can really dive deep into. So I think the foundation of this is really good. And I think that fits Animal Kingdom's core, like theme and core values. So I think that's a win. Where you start to lose me is when you incorporate people, because like you were going so good, and then you like, all right, we got to throw the IP in there, and it's like, dang it, the IP. The IP is just like, some people don't realize that some of the most popular Disney attractions do not have IP attached to them. They're just original ideas, original concepts. Now, it's okay to put IP. I love IP, but sometimes it's okay not to include it. Expedition Everest is popular because it's a fun ride. It's a fun roller coaster, and it has a very easy story to follow. You get those story notes in the queue, and when you're on the attraction, you're just having a great time. It doesn't need an IP. It's good the way it is. And what I would have done instead of Indiana Jones is, instead of just putting Indiana Jones on it, why don't you just make it some original, like, temple thing? Just it's an ancient ruined temple that we go through, and we're trying to escape something, like there, which is essentially what the ride's going to be, because it's going to be just a copy and paste of what we have at like Disneyland and Tokyo Disney. It's going to be just another Indiana. The layout of Dinosaur is identical to Indiana Jones. It's the same thing. It just has a dinosaur makeover to it. So it's like, do we really need to put Indiana Jones as the IP on it, or could we have just left it some original idea that fits better with the core foundation of the land, which is South and Central America? Like, I don't know. It's just funny. They are so desperate to put IP on everything. Like, they have to. Like, they think people will not enjoy it if it doesn't have some IP attached to it. If Guardians of the Galaxy was themed to just regular space, like the rumored original plan was, the rumor was that it was just going to be about the Big Bang. Okay, well, if that was what it was going to end up being, and Guardians of the Galaxy had nothing to do with it, guess what? It would still be one of the most popular rides at Epcot, because it's a fun ride. It doesn't have to have an IP attached to it. You don't need to relate to it all the time. So with Indiana Jones, I'm hoping they stick more to the original kind of plan. I'll accept the fact that they got to slap Indiana Jones on it, but if it's something original and something new, then that would be pretty fun. I will take that. I think that is better than Zootopia, because again, Zootopia just doesn't. A huge cityscape like that does not fit in Animal Kingdom. The Central and South America thing is way better, so I will give them that. Encanto, on the other hand, Encanto is a fun movie. I enjoyed Encanto, but again, it's just about people. And so does that mean we're not doing Encanto at Magic Kingdom? This is like the second, third, or fourth concept they've had for Animal Kingdom, and it's one of those things where we don't know when it's going to start construction. We don't know if this is even real. We have no clue. And at this rate, I don't think we're going to see a new attraction at Animal Kingdom besides the Zootopia. Then, speaking of Zootopia, they are going to do a Zootopia thing in the Tree of Life. They're going to replace It's Tough to Be a Bug, and they're going to bring Zootopia into the Tree of Life as this 3D experience. I think we're going to see that open up before any major expansion into Dino Land, reimagined space into Dino Land. Because at this rate, we're probably not going to see anything at Animal Kingdom until like 2026, 7, or maybe even 2028. And then going over to Magic Kingdom, there was another thing that they were like, oh, here's the possibilities. We have all this space to work with, and it's so cool. We're working on this project that's as big as Galaxy's Edge, and it's as big as Pandora. But again, whole lot of maybe. And the original plan was they were going to do Encanto over there. So it's like, okay, we're going to have 2 Encanto houses over in these parks, or like what's going on? Are we going to still do Coco? Are we still doing a Villains Land? Because out of all the ideas, I think the Villains Land is the best idea. If they can pull off a Villains Land right like behind Fantasyland, that would be amazing. That like I would be there opening day for that, because talk about epic. And they didn't even show us like a new piece of concept art for that space or anything, so that again was just a big mystery. And then last but not least, they talked about the Avengers e-ticket ride at California Adventure going in, and they've changed the ride vehicle. And this ride vehicle, I mean, it looks cool. The concept is awesome, but like, when are we ever going to see this? I feel like it wasn't real, and they just kind of were, it was like a pipe dream. And then they were like, okay, maybe we can do this. We'll pull the budget for it. And then they started like conceptualizing the idea, but they've been like thinking about this since 2017 and maybe even before that, because that's how long this has been kind of just, they're just flashing concept art to us. They've been showing us concept art for this attraction at Avengers Campus for years. And now we've gone a whole year since this King Thanos announcement. So I'm just like, okay, so we're gonna actually do this? Because the ride vehicle that you guys showed off at Destination D23 was really cool looking. So yeah, I mean, are we gonna move forward? And when's this supposed to open? And I've been a pretty big advocate of like, hey, yeah, let's build some more big e-ticket rides for California Adventure. I love California Adventure. So the idea of a huge Marvel attraction, an epic Marvel attraction, is awesome. I'm all for it. But yeah, when the heck is this thing gonna open up? At this rate, since they keep just showing us concept art, and it seems like they're very ambitious with this, which they should be. I'm glad they are very ambitious. We're probably not going to see this until 2028 as well. I mean, if they start construction now, you figure 2 or 3 years out, and then testing phase. So maybe 2026 or 7 at the earliest. But knowing Disney lately, it's going to be near the end of the decade before we start seeing some major development. So overall, we have some exciting things. Like I am looking forward to the future. I always look forward to the future at Disney. I'm always excited about new attractions and stuff. And with the Animal Kingdom thing, I've just accepted it now that the Animal Kingdom is gonna be different. It is what it is. But I do like the Central America and South America thing a lot better than Zootopia. What I'm annoyed about though is I'm just kind of getting sick of them showing, like, talking about things like, oh, we're gonna do this maybe. Oh, look at what we're thinking about. Like, they've been doing this for a couple years now, and it's like, show us something tangible like that you're actually going to work on for the future. Now, I'm not talking about like the Frozen Land or Journey of Water and the stuff at Tokyo that they've been building. Like we've known about that for years, and they've been building upon that, which have been taking them quite some time as well. But like all the new stuff they've been talking about for years, we haven't seen it. Like it's a pipe dream. So that's what's kind of annoying right now. And going to Universal Studios, they're building Epic Universe right now. Like, they showed us the concept and they started building it, and it's going to be open up very, very soon. Like, Epic Universe, we will be inside Epic Universe before you know it. And I think Epic Universe, at the rate of construction, we're going to start seeing like roller coasters cycle by like probably the start of the new year. I love Disney. I love going to the parks. I love going to Walt Disney World and Disneyland, and Disneyland Paris was fun, and I can't wait to experience all the other parks. I'm so glad, and I'm so fortunate I'm able to do that. But it's hard to get excited sometimes because these pipe dreams are just that. They seem to be just dreams, and we love dreaming, but when is all this going to become a reality? And that's my biggest thing. I don't know. What do you think? Go ahead and comment down below. What are your thoughts on the Destination D23 announcements? Yeah, there's some exciting things there, but there's also some things that are just a big mystery and a big question mark, and that we don't even know are even real. So yeah, I'm curious to see what your guys' opinion is on all the Destination D23 stuff. And maybe next year at the regular D23, we'll get some more concrete information on what they're actually going to be doing. But with that said, I'm just looking forward to what is opening. So all the stuff in Tokyo, I'm looking forward to the Hong Kong thing. It's going to be fun to experience Journey of Water at Epcot. It'll be nice. I'll be seeing that hopefully very, very soon. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I love going to Disney. It's fun. But when it comes to the future, it's very hard to get excited because you just don't know if all that stuff is real. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and smash the thumbs up button. And if you're new to the channel and you love these opinion-based videos on the theme parks or just vlogs from the theme parks, you should consider subscribing, because I have brand new videos every single week from Disney, Knott's, Six Flags, and a bunch of other theme parks from all over the place. Be sure to check out my socials by following the links down below in the description. But until the next video, I hope you have a beautiful day, morning, evening, whatever it is. And I'll see you next time in the parks. Bye.